Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. Tis I, Mike Martins. Hope everyone's having a fantastic night. The whole house is asleep, so I want to make a quick vid. Kind of important, actually. I finished packing all my stuff to ship out tomorrow for my home business, and tomorrow's a new day. So I want to kick off tonight's job losses all over the Commonwealth. Layoffs as at Fiat Chrysler plant in Windsor will affect 1,500 jobs. That's in Windsor, Ontario, people. Fiat Chrysler will end their third shift at the Windsor Assembly plant starting September 30th. So there's going to be a lot of people, but they're getting quite a bit of notification, right? Approximately 1,500 people will be out of work starting September 30th. Once Fiat Chrysler Automobiles terminates its third shift at the Windsor Assembly plant. So it looks like they're going to be going into other more electric, more, I don't know what they're going to be doing. I'm not going to lie. This is not the General Motors Oshawa situation, he said, referring to GM's announcement last November. It would be end production at its plant in Oshawa, Ontario, by the end of 2019, affecting 2,600 union workers. Fiat Chrysler is here in Canada, Cassidy said. We will be a great product here in Windsor, and we're going to continue to do that. So they're just laying off some people, but that's always the start. It's always the start. That's how it starts, you know? With a couple of layoffs here, a couple of shifts cuts here, a couple of losses here, cutting back on material and supply. You don't have to tumble all that together. We're out of solder, don't worry. But that's what it's concerning. Like, it just starts cutting back. And manufacturing is a must to maintain a good GDP. What makes a country is its exports, right? Good exports, good fabrication, good huge logistics. A country is built off exporting, producing and exporting, fabricating and exporting, designing and exporting. Sending out raw material to other countries and then buying it back at a loss is not a profitable situation. So there you go, layoffs in Chrysler plant. Layoffs at Kingston Area Addiction and Mental Health Service. This is today's date. So this is a little scary because you don't want people to get laid off from these kind of places. This is in Kingston, Ontario, I think. Yeah, it's the Kingston, Ontario, yeah. 42 workers at an addiction and mental health service, Kingston, Fortneck, Lennox, and Addington, to be laid off as agency reorganizes. The layoffs include 39 full-time, part-time members, Local 489 of the Ontario Public Service Employees Union. Non-unionized and management positions are also affected. So this is not good because the last thing you want is the public service provides community-based addiction to mental health services to almost 8,000 people in Kingston, Ontario. So this is not good because when you get the public sector getting involved and shutting down jobs, that's not a good. They should be creating more public sector jobs in the mental health industry, I think, personally, or giving out more grants to these institutions, because a lot of these places do work off government grants too, and support, and local support and fundraising. This hurts. It hurts. Now, here in British Columbia, they closed all the major mental health facilities. Like, all of them were closed, like Sunnybrook and Sunnydale or Riverbrook or whatever the ones they had here. They just closed them, put everyone on the streets. They felt it was against people's human rights to hold mentally ill people, and they should be free, right? So that's what it was in Vancouver a few years back. I don't know if it's changed now. Bed Bath & Beyond fires workers, declines to provide total layoffs. So basically, in Canada, I'm not sure how it works in other countries, but in Canada, if you get laid off, you could apply for unemployment insurance. Through your unemployment insurance that you've been paying through your deductions, and your employer needs to pay a percentage of it to help with the unemployment, right? But if you get fired, there's no unemployment. So that's kind of a touchy situation. Bad Bath and Beyond. I always wonder what was in the Beyond section. Bad Bath, but what's Beyond? It's probably in their storage room in the back. If you ever watch Family Guy, you know what I'm referencing. Is laying off workers, the retailer said on Thursday, as the company attempts to regain its operations while facing pressure from activist investors to overhaul its entire board of directors. Yeah, that's stuff like that's going to start. You're going to start to see. There it is. Bed Bath and Beyond. BBBY is a ticker. 1733. It's up 16 cents. So it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it doesn't look like it's struggling, but I mean, they're laying off and they got to restructure, right? Markets look like they had a good day today. All right, let's move on. EA, the largest game publisher to make major layoffs. What happened? I thought all this tech stuff was a big deal. Just months after 8% of the workforce, EA, latest AAA games publisher to announce its own job cuts. The company behind FIFA and recent blockbuster Apex Legends is letting 350 people go, roughly 4% of its workforce, from marketing, publishing, and other areas, according to an international email obtained. The affected have reportedly been aware of looming layoffs. October will be given severance. EA boss Andrew Wilson said in the email that the move would streamline decision-making in the affected departments and improve customer support. Sorry, guys. I can't stop yawning. All right. This is a difficult day. The changes we're making today will impact about 350 roles of our 9,000-person company, said Wilson. These are important but very hard decisions, and we do not take them lightly. So that's another punch in the gut. And layoffs ahead of Wall spring cleaning. Bloomberg's Jason Kelly discusses layoffs at JP Morgan and Nomura. He speaks about whatever, I don't know what this is, somebody else. They're speaking with somebody here. Oh, it's 30 seconds long.
Well, it was interesting what you said sort of leading into this segment and going out of the last, which was, no, that was interesting too. But spring cleaning, you know, because the banks are sort of saying like, oh, there's nothing too huge going on, but like we got to get rid of some people. It's like, okay, well, I mean, it's not a great sign. Like business isn't booming. So, you know, we'll see sort of how this plays through. I mean, in Nomura's case, it does feel like this is a real reflection of business. But JP Morgan is essentially saying, no, we just kind of do this every year.
But I was going to say, like, it depends on where you're cutting it. Probably
exactly.
It makes a difference.
I remember when he...
All right, interesting. JP Morgan, Nomura job cuts and to waive of pullbacks in finance. So again, we just heard it there. They're just doing, I guess they do this every year. Empty desks from 20. Wow. Holy crap. Total investment banking trading employees in 12 banks globally. So it's way up here at almost 60, let's say 60. It's down. Empty desks. Wow. So from 2013, they've been seeing a decline. JP Morgan and Chase Company is diminishing hundreds of workers in its asset and wealth management division as a part of a periodic review of staffing levels. Nomura Holdings Inc. is planning to cut dozens of jobs across its trading investment banking. Deutsche Bank, Deutsche Bank is are in talks to combine in merger that could put as many as 30,000 jobs at risk. Goldman Sachs Group Inc. is considered plans to reduce its core trading business in the fixed income group, including the last 10 workers in its commodities, until that firm told New York State in February that it will eliminate 65 jobs. Standard Bank Group Lot expects to close 91 branches across South Africa. ABSA Group Lot is restructuring its South African retail business banking. South Africa's falling apart, so they're killing farmers. I mean, I don't blame them for wanting to get out of there. Standard Chartered will cut expenses by 2021 in a streamlining plan that may include trimming jobs in Singapore. London Stock Exchange Group PLC disclosed plans to cut around 5% of global headcount. Dianarong, a Chinese peer-to-peer lender. Oh yeah. That's they're cutting 2,000 jobs. That's that nightmare that we covered on the channel. Laurentian Bank of Canada said it will cuts of 10% of its post earnings that missed the estimates of the third straight quarter. Some 350 employees will lose their jobs. Societe Generale SA is drawing up plans to eliminate jobs at the investment bank. Could cut hundreds of jobs. HSBC Holding Place will trim at least 50 jobs in its global banking and market unit as part of an annual performance to review its staff. Legg Manson Incorporated plans to cut staff to increase investment in technology managed assets. I'm talking Portuguese now. BlackRock Inc. is cutting 3% of its global workforce, about 500 employees. State Street Corp., the giant custody bank and asset manager, is starting to trim down management ranks by 15%. AQR Capital Management, the quaint manager, is cutting jobs after dismal performance in 2018. The reductions will amount to low single-digit percentage of workforce, about 1,000 employees. Banco Sanstaro S.A. Polish unit announced plans to reduce 11%, as many as 1,400 jobs. Morgan Stanley dismissed some of its underperformers, with cuts occurring throughout fixed income, equities, and research divisions. Caixa Bank S.A. Formal talks of unions will be in April, with a company proposing 2,157 job cuts. So that is in the financial sector. You're going to see a lot more in the financial sector and the construction sector, because homes are being built. People aren't running to buy homes anymore. Big tech companies lay off over 1,000 employees in San Jose. So big tech companies now are...
After layoffs tonight.
Now, several big-name companies just announced that they're cutting jobs. Nightbeat's Maria Medina has details from one of those tech heavyweights, PayPal.
And these layoffs won't come all at once. Some got a few days' notice, others have a few weeks to prepare. What we did learn is that this is nothing new in the tech world.
I was laid off at the end of 35 years.
Richard Levin lasted in tech for more than 3 decades before his company handed him the dreaded pink slip 2 years ago.
We had too many people in this area, and so they cut back.
The tech sector is maybe the most volatile sector. Remember, product life cycles come and go.
The newest round of layoffs is coming from several Silicon Valley companies, with cutbacks between now and Memorial Day.
Yeah.
According to the Employment Development Department, SAP is laying off the largest number of workers at 446. Oracle's next at 352, then PayPal at 183. Thin Film Electronics and Instacart also sent notices, bringing the total of tech layoffs to more than 1,300.
One reason it's making headlines is because people have a sense that winter is coming. They're thinking we've been riding this upturn for a long time.
But both Richard and tech expert Russ Hancock says layoffs are unfortunately not uncommon in the tech industry. PayPal told EDD it's restructuring, and Oracle is reevaluating its product focus.
So we don't want to minimize this. For the people that are laid off, it's this terrible upheaval in their lives. On the other hand, you have to keep this in perspective. There are 1.5 million people working in Silicon Valley, and about 40% of those jobs, even more, are tech jobs. And tech companies are constantly upsizing, downsizing, pivoting, moving into new markets.
He says 1,300 layoffs is no evidence of an economic downturn. This is just unfortunately how the tech industry works. Richard knows. After his layoff, he...
What do you guys think about that one? But it's not just... okay, tech. But have you seen tech and finance and construction and video game developers and all this other crap going at the same time? That's the question. When tech industry goes through this, okay, maybe. I get it. But with construction down, everything down, layoffs, closures, store closures, consumer confidence down, is it just a coincidence that everything's down at the same time? Car manufacturing's down, layoffs. I mean, it's a bigger picture at play here. Massive layoffs, EA's Australian studio. So another 50 staff to prepare for redundancy. Again, in Australia, our friends down under that are watching us are getting hit also. With Sims, Free Play, Need for Speed. Wow, these guys created a lot of stuff, man. And unfortunately, they are getting laid off, unfortunately. And home builders start laying off workers as they face a sharp down. This is in Sydney, Australia. It's happening everywhere. It's happening in New Zealand. Since building its first house in 1957, Zukala Homes has seen its fair share of highs and lows in Melbourne's residential construction market. So you're going to start to see, a lot of layoffs in the construction sector. You'll be seeing it far and wide. But not only that, then you got concrete companies that get affected, nail companies, tool companies. It's a irreversible domino effect where everything just starts cascading into one another, and it's going to be really bad. Anyways, guys, don't forget to join me this Saturday for Mike in the Night. Go ahead and add me on Skype if you want to be a guest on the show. We have a new panel of people coming on the show now, and we are going to be discussing. So if you want to join us for EMP attacks, what you think. Donald Trump passed an executive order. I've been talking about this now for about 4 days now. It's kind of ringing in me, so I kind of want to bring this one up. EMP attacks, executive order was passed. And then I want to do empty malls. We'll talk about empty malls in your area, or consumer confidence. Is it strong like you used to see it? Has this past Christmas that just passed a lot slower than usual? Anyways, guys, I'll have my Skype on that night. Don't forget to add me, and just send me a one-liner, where you're from and what you want to talk about, and I'll have you on the show. I'm just a one-man show, and it's just me. So, anyways, just tell me who you are in the comment section, and then I'll go ahead and approve you on Skype. Let me know. Comment below. And layoffs. Construction's a big one, because then houses aren't being built. First-time home buyers are not getting in the market. Stamp duty taxes are not being there. And taxes are not being made on the property. Property transfer tax is not being made. So a lot of cities, how are they going to fund their bus, hospital, police? How is this going to get funded? How? Are they going to borrow from other provinces? Are they going to borrow from other countries to keep their Ponzi scheme alive and well? I'd like to know. Comment below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.